So I figured that would be a good time to do that next month.
Okay. Old business, rules and updates and regulations.
Yeah, along the same lines, I was hesitant again to bring forward a full rules and regulations update to you today for presentation without your new commissioner. I thought that would be best suited for next month. We do have those prepared. I will likely just go ahead and send those out in advance so that you have time, if you're available, to read through them beforehand. Otherwise, I do plan next month to start walking through those, so it probably will be a little bit longer meeting than normal.
Okay. I guess
Are they
it's
gonna be redlined?
They will, yep.
Okay.
certification list.
All right. So we have a total of four lists on the agenda for today, but the first one that we're going to start out with is the laboratory supervisor. This supervisor position is not a union position. However, it does supervise the chemists that work within the water pollution control plant. The interview was counted as 100%. All qualifying candidates were sent a background check investigation invitation. We have the list today, obviously, ready to be certified. And we have listed the starting salary for you. And Karen, I'll just list that as well. We have $68,211.73 to $89,477.02. This is commensurate with longevity. So for this specific position, we had 27 applicants. We did have one applicant complete more than one application. I make a note of that because you can see that in the statistics when they're printed out. So in case you're ever asking for clarification, that's why I let you know about that. 7 did not meet the minimum qualifications, and I have listed the minimum qualifications for this specific position. It is a position that does require quite a bit of knowledge in the field, so just wanted to make sure that you had that available.
Does it require a degree?
It does, yes. It requires a bachelor's degree in chemistry or closely related science field and 5 years of related laboratory work experience. And this is because they are, in fact, supervising the chemists within the lab, as well as running some of the own testing themselves in the case that they need extra hands on board.
Thank you.
No problem. So 19 candidates were sent notification of the interview date and time. We did have 9 of the candidates score below a 70%, so that actually left us with 10 candidates that we felt that were qualified for the position and are on the list today. All 10 candidates were sent background checks. All 10 candidates passed the background checks, and that's why we have 10 on the list for certification. Do we have any questions?
No.
Okay. We'll get that list going then.
I will actually hold all of the lists until the end and then just send them down so you can sign them all at once.
Thank you.
All right, our next position is the laborer position. This is a Teamster, it's a union position. It's an entry-level position in Streets and Sewer Division of the Public Works Department. We did the 30-70 combo, so the written exam was worth 30%. They had to pass that with at least a 70% to move on to the interview. All qualifying candidates were then sent the background check investigation. We have the list ready for certification. And then for Karen, the starting salary is $37,367.20, ranging to $47,040.86. And just so you know, with a union position like this, everyone starts at a step 1, and with time they increase in their step range. So for this position, we actually started out with 109 applicants. We had 5 duplicate applications, meaning that 5 people submitted an application twice. Unfortunately, our system doesn't allow you to just necessarily like update it and only count it as once, even when you submit an application. So it looks like you applied twice. And just so you know, we only take the application that was submitted the second time. So the most up-to-date application is what we take. We did have 2 who were not willing to relocate, which we disqualify because you do have to be a resident of Iowa or within the 2-year time period that you would take this position should you be offered it. 102 were sent notification of the testing date and time. 61 did not show for the practical exam. 2 called me and withdrew personally, and then 17 actually scored below the 70% for the test. So that left us with 22 candidates. 22 candidates were sent notification of interview date and time. 3 did not schedule the interview by the deadline. We had 1 no-show, and then we had 3 that failed the interview. So from there, we had 15 that we sent background checks to, and of the 15, 14 passed. So we did have 1 that did not pass the background check. That's why we have 14 on the list for certification today. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, great. We'll move on.
Good morning, everyone. I have 2 positions to highlight for you and discuss. So the first, crime scene, civilian crime scene tech, crime scene documentation, evidence collection, scientific evaluation, detailed reporting. Not the Hollywood version of crime scene. This is the actual Davenport work that happens on a daily basis for this position. Written exam component and an interview component were the scoring mechanisms. The passing candidates then moved into the polygraph and background investigation phase. The list, we do have a list ready for certification. The starting salary range was $47,400 to $62,200. This is an ASME position, and all the applicants or the candidate would start in step 1 and then move throughout the range. So this is how the process broke down. We had initially 207 applicants for this position. 58 did not meet minimum qualifications. This did require a bachelor's degree in forensic science or related scientific field, or a bachelor or an associate's degree with 2 years of pretty complex work within the crime scene field. 149 were sent notification of the written exams. We did offer 2 different dates and 2 different times on those 2 different dates for the written exam to just offer a myriad of options for applicants to test with us. As you can see, 4 withdrew from the process. They did not wish to continue on. 69 did not schedule an exam time after numerous attempts to get them to do so. 12 did, but did not show for the actual exam time. And of the ones that did show up, 33 failed. So we had 31 that actually passed the written exam. The written exam was a 100-question multiple choice developed by the police department, our crime scene bureau. So of those 31 that passed and moved to the interview, 2 did not schedule, and 10 failed the interview at the time. So 19 passed the interview and moved into the background investigative phase. So at this particular point, we had 3 that failed the background investigation, and the reasons were 2 of the candidates disclosed soft drug usage within our timeframe policy, so that was a disqualifier, and 1 was involved in a hit and run, was actually the aggressor in that traffic violation, and that's of a serious nature. So we have a list of 15 to present to you, and as you can see, that actually left 16 left, but we took the lowest scoring candidate off, so you only will have the 15 on the list as required. So very, very critical position within our police department. Any questions that I could entertain?
How do they fill the interview?
It's a panel interview conducted by one of our captain, or the commander of our services division, the ID bureau manager, and then one of the crime scene techs. So it's a scored interview, and then based on their responses, I did hear from the captain that a lot of the candidates just were not prepared and didn't
Couldn't answer the questions.
couldn't answer,
The
yeah,
questions related to the position?
exactly, and couldn't really elaborate their own vision and their desire for the position.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Karen. Any other questions I can entertain?
That's it.
Okay. So the next position, Police Services Generalist. Again, another critical position within the police department. Creates, maintains, possesses, organizes, purges, reproduces, and distributes police records. This again had a written exam and an interview component. Passing candidates from those two areas moved on to the polygraph and background investigative phase. We do have a list ready for certification. The salary range is $38,600 to $49,900. This again is an AFSCME position, and the candidate would start at step 1, so the $38,600. This is how the process fell out. 182 applicants for this position. 10 did not meet minimum qualifications. The qualifications for this one were 2 years, at least 2 years of complex office work or an associate's degree and some work experience. 172 were sent notification of written exam dates and times. Again, just like civilian crime scene tech, we did 2 different dates and 2 different times to accommodate a myriad of schedules for our applicants. 5 withdrew from the process before. 48 did not schedule the written exam after numerous contacts to do so. 37 did not show for the exam. 41 failed the written exam. So at this point, we had 41 that passed and moved to the interview. Of those 41, 8 withdrew from consideration, 4 did not schedule the interview, and 15 failed the interview. Again, this was a scored paneled interview consisting of our commander of the division and our records bureau supervisor and the lead police services generalist as a panel interview. 14 passed the interview and moved into the background investigative phase. 4 failed the background. Again, this was specifically soft drug usage within the allotted time frame. 2 withdrew from the process at this point, and 1 applicant actually withdrew because he accepted another position within the city. So we have a list of 7 to present to you for today, for this position, and we are hiring 2 for this, and we're hiring 1 of the civilian crime scene techs. Can I entertain any questions? Thank you for your time and consideration.
So basically just signing the list and,
I do need you to please take a formal action if you could do a vote on these.
so listening to all the records and the information that's presented, we need to have a motion. Motion made.
Motion made to accept all.
Second.
All in favor, sign of aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Okay, I will pass the list down to you, and the next meeting date is scheduled for June the 12th at 9 a.m.
Is that still a conflict with you?
Are we adjourning?
After we sign, yes. We still got about 5 minutes. With all that done, I make a motion that we adjourn at, looks like 9:16.
Second.
Motion made, second. All in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
So adjourned. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.